Hey guys, Alex here. Today, this video is going to be about what wind is best for surfing. So the first point I want to make is that any wind is actually really the best wind for surfing. You should just get out there, and the reason for this is that the amount of times that I've been out there when I didn't think it was going to be good winds and had a really fun surf, even if it wasn't the best conditions, has been so many times. So this brings me on to my next point, which is that these days as well, it's obviously a lot easier to see what the winds are doing with the wind forecast and the surf cams and all that kind of stuff. But similar to before, is you should just get out there, even if it doesn't look that bad. If it's onshore and like kind of a bit broken up, you still could have a really fun surf. So next, I'm going to talk a bit about the pros and cons of the different types of winds. So there's four main types of winds that you're going to encounter. So the first is the offshore wind. So this is when the wind is coming off the shore and heading back out to sea. Now the pros of this are that it grooms the waves similar to a snow machine, grooming the snow. So it makes them really clean and really nice. And the other benefit of this is that it also sort of props up the wave. So you've got to imagine the wind's coming up the face of the wave. And what that does is it actually forces the wave up and like kind of makes it hold its shape as well. So you can have a really nice face to carve up and down on. The only cons here can be if it's a really, really strong offshore wind, it can be quite hard to paddle into the wave, and also at the same time you can get quite a bit of spray flying back in your face. So yeah, it does depend on the actual strength of the wind as well. The next type of way of wind is, well, the main type of wind that you're going to encounter is the onshore wind. Now, a lot of people say that the onshore wind is actually not very good for surfing, but the pros of it can be if you're trying to learn how to do airs, it can actually help the board to stick to your feet as you're coming off the top of the wave. The cons of the onshore wind are that it also kind of forces the wave down and like causes the wave to crumble a lot. But this can actually also be another benefit if you're trying to learn how to do airs, as it can create all these little like kind of launch pads for you to hop off basically. And as I said before, sometimes you might go out when it's an onshore wind, but you'll just find a little pocket in like a south or north corner of the beach or east or west corner of the beach where you can actually find that the conditions can make it quite fun to go surfing. So this brings us to the third type of wind, which is the cross-shore wind. So the cross-shore wind can be good and bad in two different ways. So if the wind is coming into the wave, so the wave, say the wave is breaking to the left and the wind is coming from the right, then this can create a lot of chop on the face of the wave. So that's actually really bad because it's going to be, not so fun with your board skipping over those different chop points. The pros of the cross-shore wind are that if the wind is behind the wave and pushing along with it, you can actually add a bit of speed to the wave and actually give it a bit of grooming as well. So this brings us to the pros and cons of the final type of wind, which is actually no wind at all. So I actually find this is probably my favorite type of wind out of all of them. And the reason for this is it just creates really nice conditions, not even just for surfing, but just in the atmosphere. So my favorite time of day for this would actually be like at the end of the day when the sun's just setting down and you get this really nice sort of like oily look on the water and everything's super still and just really beautiful. The cons of this are, I don't actually think there's too many cons. I guess in some cases it may not actually, if it's a bit smaller, it may not actually help push the wave up. So you might have some smaller waves to deal with. Whereas if there was a bit of offshore wind, it could push it up. But apart from that, yeah, not really any cons to having no wind when you're out surfing as long as there's good swell. Alright guys, if you've got any questions, let me know in the comments. Cheers, bye.